And we're back for episode number 10 of the Loose Wheel Podcast. I am the one and only Andrew Hazlett, alongside with the one, the only Ethan Ignatowski.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, we've got a lot of news to cover, but we've got something special for you. But first, Ethan, I want to just say thank you to a lot of people. First off, I would like to thank you for agreeing do this with me.
Thank you, Andrew.
I would like to thank Mr. Ben Paris for putting some of these episodes up on Spotify and blazeradio.com. Yeah, that's cool because we don't do that. That's awesome. I would also like to thank all those listening, watching on YouTube, and for our shorts, for our main videos. Thank you. And I will say, this is gonna be our best episode, I think.
I think so. Season finale of season 1, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be awaiting season 2 when that comes out. But yeah, with that being said, let's have a good final episode. And you got anything else to say, or should we jump right into the news?
Yeah, we'll just say there's some things to look forward to for season 2, but let's jump into the news. Ethan, we've got a few Formula 1 things talking about, so talk about them.
All right, I got you. Logan Sargent, he will be returning for Williams for the 2024 season. There was kind of comments that kind of made it seem like maybe he wasn't going to return. But in the end, he did return, and this was kind of always going to happen. Williams was going to give him that second year. He also, I feel like, improved as the season went along. Like, he never really had, a crazy breakout race or anything even close to it. But I think that he slowly improved as the season went along, and he's going to need a big step next season if he wants to keep the seat for 2025, but he is around at least for 2024. So congrats to Logan Sargent. We have an American driver on the grid. Hopefully he does us proud next year.
America, F yeah.
Yeah.
First American to score points in Scott Speed.
God, I love Scott Speed.
NASCAR, the game inside line, the legend Scott Speed. But yeah.
Yeah.
Something Alex Rossi couldn't do.
Yeah.
But Rossi was in a terrible car for those seasons, but yeah.
Yeah. Logan has had success in his past in junior formulas and all that. I believe he finished 4th in F2 last year in his rookie season. The year before, he was winning Formula 3 races in the Charoux. And the year before that, he almost won the Formula 3 championship. So we know he's talented. Hopefully himself and Williams can continue to improve alongside each other, and Logan Sargent can become an F1 mainstay. Because, I like the guy. I think not just because he's an American, well, mostly because he's an American, but I do think that he has talent, and I hope, I hope that he can capitalize on his talent and come out of the gates next year strong and end with a good season. But something that might affect the F1 grid in a couple of seasons is there are rumors going around that the Spanish Grand Prix might not be in Barcelona from 2026 onward, and that race would instead be a Madrid street circuit. There's also been some rumors that maybe they could go alongside each other, but it seems like the prevailing rumor is that the Madrid circuit would replace Barcelona. Normally, I'm not a big fan of street circuits for Formula 1, but there are some good ones. And even though Barcelona is a good track, it's not a good track for Formula 1. So I'm open to the change. What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona is not the best track for F1. I think that's been decided just about everyone. They did make the improvement of getting rid of that stupid chicane at the end.
For sure, an improvement.
But I mean, I would be open to the idea. I mean, Valencia had a run, but yeah, I could see an alternating thing possibly, or it being replaced. I don't think there'll be two Spanish Grand Prix like there's two Italian Grand Prix or three American Grand Prix, but yeah.
Plus, at that point, the calendar is just so crowded.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's already heading towards that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Some other news in that Miami and China are joining the sprint race roster for next year, replacing Baku and Spa. China will be back on the F1 calendar for the first time since 2019, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to bring attention to that race, bring some hype to that race, and also to Miami, who has disappointed, really, as a track.
And it's getting overshadowed now by Vegas.
Yeah, so just trying to bring some life back into that Miami weekend is why I think they are making that changes, and everyone loves Spa anyways. Everyone loves Baku anyways, and Baku seems to almost always produce something, at least. So, almost always. So those are two races where I don't really think you need the hype of a sprint weekend.
Right.
So the move makes sense to me. I don't have any problems with it.
Yeah.
And then the final bit of F1 news is Toto Wolff, who is big boss man of Mercedes, and his wife Susie Wolff, who is the head of the F1 Academy, are being investigated by the FIA, who opened up a compliance investigation into potential conflict of interest. So basically, the FIA is investigating that since they're married, would there be a conflict of interest between Susie Wolff, who is the head of a junior category, and Toto Wolff, who is the head of a team who I guess might be interested in a driver from that junior category. This is a pretty new report that this investigation came out. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't fully understand the details myself, but this is a report that is out. You can look more into it if you would like. But yeah, I don't really think there's much there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm just completely wrong here, but it's a little funny to me that they want to investigate this, but they let Red Bull own 2 Formula 1 teams.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another time. You can get into the NASCAR news if you would like, Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things that are similar to that. Jim and John Harbaugh coaching different NFL teams, kind of brothers. So that was something I'm comparing it to. And Denny Hamlin racing for Joe Gibbs, which is at the maximum a lot of cars, and owning 2 other cars.
Yeah.
Which some say, in the beginning, some said those were going to be a 5th, and what now 6th Joe Gibbs car, when I think they are clearly not that, but yeah.
I think the I think the F1 stuff, the two Red Bull teams, that's probably the most comparable to the Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. I was trying to compare it to the Toto and Susie Wolff thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving into the NASCAR news, Chase Elliott Justin Allgaier, Haley Deegan capture the 2023 Most Popular Driver Awards. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no surprises here.
Yeah. We'll see if Justin Allgaier can win his 4th straight Most Popular Driver in Xfinity next year, or will that title go to Haley Deegan? You never know. Junior Nation fans versus Simps. So moving on.
You're really gonna say it like that, Andrew?
It could be. I could say worse, but I'm not going to. So.
Okay, Andrew's showing some restraint.
Yes. Yes, I'm a simp. Mayonnaise on an escalator. Soldier, sir. That was an awful transition.
I'm so lost right now.
So, do you not know the mayonnaise? Yes, I'm a simp. And then it goes to a mayonnaise on an escalator.
No, I don't.
It's going upstairs, so see you later. Bye.
I'm so confused right now.
I was trying to do a transition there, and there was nothing there to begin with. But I'll send you that video.
Okay.
The video does exist. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy in that way.
Well.
But moving on. Soldier surgery recovery leaves Denny Hamlin unsure of status for Busch Light Clash. He had off-season surgery like Chase Elliott did, and looks like he might have a little longer time to recover. That's not much there. It's an exhibition race anyway, so it's not a big deal if you miss it.
Yeah, not good news though. It's not something you want to hear. Hopefully, you can recover quickly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. They haven't announced their Xfinity program yet, but Eric Almirola was spotted at the Commanders game. And Joe Gibbs told Josh Harris, both owners of Gibbs, this is Eric Almirola. He's going to be our Xfinity driver. Which, in that case, I could see he's a Cup Experience guy. He could do it. You have Trevor Bayne there. You have, assuming Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed are going to be there. Those are widely speculated to be true, but aren't confirmed. I think so. You have both those Smith and Creed with Cup Experience. I think any of those 4 drivers are capable. I would choose Almirola, but we'll see. RFK Racing launches #Stage 60 program. David Reagan to drive the number 60 in 2024 Daytona 500. The last time what is now RFK Racing had a 60 car. It was a bad season in Xfinity, but this is, I think, their Project 91, what the 33 has become for Childress and what the 67 has become for 2311, just to get different drivers in the car that might not be not that had an interest of NASCAR but weren't able to go in NASCAR. I think that's what's going to be. David Reagan at the start for the Daytona 500. That could be a good start. You might see someone else there eventually. I think. Trying to look. The last time they ran the 60 car was in the Xfinity Series in 2017 between Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, and Ty Majeski. That car DNF'd a total of 7, 10, 11 times in 33 races. So at a 33% crash rate. And it had an additional 7 races where it didn't finish in the top 20. As a comparison, Ryan Reed in that same year had 5 DNFs and 2 other finishes outside the top 20. So that was the infamous cursed 60 car. So who knows if it will be cursed this time around? We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. David Reagan's a good sleeper pick for the 500. I will say that. Trackhouse Entertainment Group entering MotoGP grid for 2024. NASCAR team. I think this is the first time a NASCAR team has been on the MotoGP grid, to my knowledge. I don't follow MotoGP, but yeah, I think that's cool. You have Penske in IndyCar, IMSA, and WEC. I think that's the only team right now in other series. Well, Stuart Haas and Haas are interesting. Haas being in F1. Red Bull, when Red Bull was in NASCAR, they were in F1, obviously. But yeah, I think I don't know if they've had a MotoGP team at the same time that they've had NASCAR, but yeah.
Red Bull F1, shout out, what was his name? Landon Castle. Right? He drove the Red Bull car.
I know he might have, because eventually a guy who had Burger King franchise bought Red Bull, and he renamed it BK Racing for Burger King. He did drive for BK. I don't know if he drove in the Red Bull 83, because he drove...
Yeah. I thought that was like the most random NASCAR knowledge you'll ever hear me say on this podcast. That just came to me for no reason.
That was...
Big shout out.
Rule number 1 in stock car racing is to learn how to wreck someone without wrecking yourself. Landon Castle, after he got wrecked by Danica Patrick.
2 top 10s in his NASCAR career. What a guy.
Let's see.
Cup Series career.
What teams did he... Let's scroll down. Let's see. When did he get his top 10s? Probably with Front Row, because that's how it works. That's Xfinity. Go up. Top 10.
He got a 4th.
Actually, I don't see Red Bull Racing right there anywhere.
No,
so he didn't drive for Red Bull. But he did drive for BK, which was a success for Red Bull. So that kind of counts, I guess.
I was kind of right.
Maybe.
Hillman Racing, he got a 4. And Spire Motorsports, he got a 4.
Yeah. Landon Castle, I didn't expect him to be talked about on the podcast. I mean, he has a podcast of his own. I would like to see him, co-host with Parker Kligerman among other random people. But yeah. I'd like to see him back somewhere, because he's a capable driver. Moving on, Chase Elliott's new Napa scheme is awesome. They finally ditched the white. Thank God. Yeah. Ethan just point out Mike Skinner on the list of Team Red Bull drivers.
The American.
Yes. Chase Elliott. It's not quite as good as the 24 days, I think, yet. But of Napa primaries, this is the best 9 Napa primary. Moving on, Advent Health joins Legacy Motor Club, backing Jones for 6 races and Jimmy Johnson for 3 races, Texas, Kansas, and Charlotte. So we have a clue of what Jimmy Johnson's schedule is next year. I would assume he might want to try Circuit of the Americas again, because he crashed out lap 1 there. Daytona 500. Chicago he was going to race before he had the family personal matter. I don't remember what happened there. But he might want to do North Wilkesboro. So yeah, I could see him doing like a solid 8 races next year.
That's cool.
But 3 of them, I didn't expect Kansas or Texas. But yeah, 3 of them already decided, maybe more. I'd like to see it. And the last bit of news today, NASCAR finalizes 7-year media rights deal with Fox, NBC, Amazon, and Warner Brothers Discovery. I think that's what the D in Warner Brothers D means. I don't know.
Great research.
I read it once, and
I think you're right. Right.
You have let's just make it easy. The Truck Series is going to be on FS1.
Okay.
CW has Xfinity.
Okay.
Or it gets complicated. is the Cup Series. For the first 14 races, and I think the 2 exhibition events, Fox and FS1 have all the races, and they have some qualifyings.
Okay.
The rest of those early season practice and qualifying will be on Amazon, along with 4 races, and those practice and qualifying will be on Amazon. That's on Prime Video, the place where you get your great Thursday night football games.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have TNT and Warner have 4 races and practice and qualifying for those 4 races. And then most of the practice and qualifying for the rest of the year, except for the few that NBC and USA are picking up. And they're going to have the last 14 races. So, yeah. I think this is good for NASCAR.
You do?
Yeah, because going onto streaming platforms, getting on what is the future, increase of money. If they could have done, I saw a report that if they could have got this done last year, it would have been more money. But now, I mean, they were still trying to get to the beginning of their stuff done.
Yeah,
I mean, they weren't in a position to do it last year, but this is still an increase of revenue is good, and
I guess to me it just seems like kind of messy in a way. Like there's so many different places that you have to split between your NASCAR watching. I mean, it shouldn't really be a big deal, but like when you have it all written down in front of you, you kind of realize like how much it really is and how messy it looks on paper.
Yeah, I feel like
if they could just find a home for NASCAR, like that's what NASCAR needs to do. I feel like
I think this is pretty close to perfect. Because what would make NASCAR bad is actually just throwing in random streaming races, or like just not consistency. Because
that's what they're doing. They are throwing in random streaming races.
It's a block of 14, a block of 4, a block of 4, a block of 14.
Okay.
Rather than 10, 1, 2, 1, going back and forth.
Right. I mean that's better, but still, if there was one spot.
I don't think there will ever be one spot, because that's how it is.
I mean, I know Fox and TNT have split coverage forever.
And
basically.
now it's Fox, NBC. Before that was Fox, NBC, Fox and ESPN, I think, for a little bit, and Fox at TNT, ESPN, and then it's. I think this is about as good as it can get. Right. I think.
Fair enough.
Because with a sport as long as NASCAR is, in a sport as it's not popular enough to be like football or baseball or anything, but you aren't gonna get one network.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it works. So yeah, I like it. All right.
Do we have a fun transition, or are we just gonna? Beautiful. Absolutely superb.
That is the intro music. Today, on the Lucio's
let me straighten
podcast,
my tie.
Yeah, I am wearing long sleeves for this, so yeah.
I am not wearing a suit, for the record. Just jokes.
But yeah, this is our award show. We give out awards, and they are the Nigels.
This is the first annual Nigels.
Yes.
Named after the man with the mustache, Nigel Mansell.
It's definitely not named after a certain trio of men who did a car show and had an award show. I'm
naming it after Nigel Mansell's mustache.
Okay. All right. Our first Nigel, Ethan. Do you want to alternate this?
Yeah, let's alternate it.
You take the first one.
All right. The F1 livery of the year. The nominees for the F1 livery of the year are McLaren's Chrome livery, Williams Gulf Singapore, and Alfa Romeo. And Andrew, the winner is Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Woo!
A solid livery all around, red and black. Goes hard. I mean, I think neither of our favorites got chosen, but
we didn't. We should have explained this before, probably, but we had a little bit of a committee to help us decide and help us narrow down the official nominees because we came in with like a huge list. So like, if you disagree with our picks, you can get mad at us, but it was a group effort.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, the Alfa Romeo livery this year was a nice livery. It was clean. Like the red looks so good. With the contrast. It's kind of everything you could want.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah, my favorite was the McLaren Chrome. You like the Williams Golf Singapore?
I did. I love the
liveries.
Golf liveries, but it is Alfa Romeo that takes away the first ever Nigel given out.
Yeah, a lot of happy people down over in Italy. But this one will move stateside for the IndyCar Scheme of the Year. The nominees are Marcus Armstrong, the Ridgeline Scheme, Graham Rahal, iPacket Scheme, Christian Lundgaard, Hy-Vee, the Black and Red Scheme, the Willpower Verizon Scheme, and the Scott McLaughlin Freightliner Scheme. And the winner is brought to you by Subway because YouTube ads are unskippable.
Andrew.
And it is the Scott McLaughlin Freightliner Scheme.
Wait, what were you trying to do?
I was trying to do rip open the letter.
Okay.
That didn't work. That was almost as bad as your voice.
I think as my voice. Wow. I think we're gonna need to cut that out of the final product.
We're not. We're leaving it in. We're leaving it in there. But like the Scott McLaughlin Freightliner Scheme, a solid scheme. Great blue, light blue, great design. Do you have anything to say about that, Ethan, as you move into the corner?
I do like this. I believe that this was my personal pick, so I am happy that it is the overall pick. I like the shade of blue. It's very nice. It's very pleasant on the eyes.
I probably would have gone. I don't know. I think I might have gone the Marcus Armstrong Ridgeline lubricants, but yeah. All right, moving on.
Okay, this is the NASCAR Wrap of the Year, and the contestants are Austin Dillon with his Bass Pro Shop Charlotte Patriotic Wrap. Kevin Harvick and Ryan Preece with the Hunt Bros Green Wrap. Kyle Larson with the Classic Valvoline. Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell with the Yahoo livery.
Yahoo!
Christopher Bell with Interstate Batteries, specifically his Texas edition.
Because that didn't have red numbers.
Bubba Wallace has 2 entries, the McDonald's Grimace and the Summer Dash Pass at Sonoma. Zane Smith with the WellCare Wrap. Alex Bowman with the Ali Coker Homestead. And Tyler Reddick with the Jordan Brand UNC. Gotta love those colors. The winner is Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. Yahoo! Yeah, it wasn't my personal pick, but it was very high up my rankings personally.
Everyone
for me.
Did like it.
Yeah, this was one that everyone enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a lot different than a lot of liveries. Like you don't really see a lot of purple.
Yeah, I do like the purple.
Yeah.
And they got the right shade of it, too.
Yeah, so I think purple is a very underutilized color.
Mm-hmm.
It's the color of royalty. Like, why don't people utilize purple more? It really is a cool color. I like how they did the Yahoo branding on it as well, with the Y and the exclamation point on the hood, not just trying to fit Yahoo in on a smaller surface, and then you actually just have Yahoo on the side where it actually makes sense and where it actually fits. I think overall it's a really sound wrap. There's not too many other sponsorships on it that take away from the wrap itself. I really like it.
The committee had this. I picked first, and then the other two members of the committee had it second. So very well liked by the committee.
Yes.
Moving on, for the F1 atrocious livery of the year, the Nigel. The nominees are the Haas car, the Alfa Romeo Belgium livery, and the Ferrari Monza special.
And the winner is...
And the winner is the Nigel for the F1 atrocious livery of the year is the Alfa Romeo Belgium scheme.
Alfa Romeo, what happened? How you have the best livery, according to the Nigels, and the worst livery, according to the Nigels, in the same season? Round of applause, really.
Yes.
Round of applause. You just killed some headphone users, Andrew. But yeah, that's impressive. Yeah. Shout out to you, Alfa Romeo.
You have the greatness of the red and black, and you think, oh, what color would best go with this? Neon green.
Yeah, it works with the black, but then you realize, because you have eyes, that doesn't go with the red. Yeah. And the red is like the most important part of the car. So, big yikes. Not good, no. In fact, quite bad, seeing as it won the Nigel for atrocious livery. But F1 wasn't the only category that had atrocious liveries. The IndyCar atrocious scheme of the year is up next. And we start off the entrant list with a double entry from Takuma Sato. Oh no, the Deloitte scheme and the... Andrew, how do you say that? Natera?
I think you got it.
Natera scheme.
I think those are his only two paint schemes.
Yeah, Takuma Sato is just driving around this year looking nasty. Christian Lundgaard with the Hy-Vee green, Devlin DeFrancesco, Capstone, and Alex Palou, Journey. And the winner is... F2 legend Christian Lundgaard with the Hy-Vee green.
Yeah.
Nasty. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Christian Lundgaard almost won the... it's actually the red and green, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a red and green one, but yeah. He almost won the best one with a nice red and black livery. And then they decided, again, so a lot similar to Marcus Ericsson. Marcus Ericsson did drive for that team a while ago. But
just, you gotta be careful with green, man.
Yeah,
like green can work, and green does work in certain cases, but you gotta be careful with it.
I did like Devlin DeFrancesco. Didn't think of nominating him. I like seeing that, but I don't love it that much. And we are all not Deloited to see the Deloitte car.
Ooh, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. Moving on to the NASCAR atrocious wrap of the year. We have Chase Elliott's Lumar car, You have William Byron, the Las Vegas relay car, which is the white one. You have William Byron again with the ZHP car. You have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with Sara Lee, Artisanal Bread. You have Austin Hill with the Realtree car. And a double entry here, Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch for the Morgan and Morgan card.
Yeah, the just real quickly before we get into the winner, the Morgan and Morgan car would have been fine if they didn't put the dude's face on the hood. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Oh
and the
my
winner
gosh.
for the Nigel is the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Artisanal baked bread car. That was
so bad. If you haven't seen it, just look it up right now. You have to.
Yeah.
It's so bad. How did it just looks terrible. I don't understand how so many people agreed that's the car we're gonna roll out there. And all of this stuff is subjective. It's all opinions. You might not agree with us. Maybe you think this is the best wrap, but if you do, what's wrong with you, to be honest? Because it's so bad. The wrap is a close-up of the bread.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It's terrible.
I feel like I have a right to speak on this as a bread connoisseur.
Yeah. Andrew, for those that don't know, Andrew is a bread enthusiast. His favorite, I just learned this the other day, his favorite snack, it's not, chips or maybe a healthier option. Maybe he's a fruit guy. No. Andrew's favorite snack is just bread.
What's wrong with that?
The fact that it's just bread. That's serial killer things.
I like butter with my bread.
But it's not a necessity for you. I saw you just going ham on just plain bread.
It's not like a sandwich bread. It's good bread.
I think it's weird. And speaking of the committee, other members of the committee think it's weird.
What are your thoughts on that car?
We should have nominated that. Yeah. So
this guy's smiling, and his face is on the freaking loop.
Yeah, I mean it's better, I suppose, but
I didn't hate the Morgan and Morgan car. I mean, the court. Oh yeah. Speaking of face cars, going back to the Corey LaJoie Old Spice car. Have you seen that?
Maybe not. But you were going to give us the Artisano bread review.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't had that, but yeah.
God, that is...
It's beautiful.
No. Was that this season?
No, it was
a
while ago.
Because that should have been the worst.
It's beautiful.
It gives me Ricky Bobby vibes.
It's his face is on the car, and then his hair goes. It's the back.
No, I don't like that at all. No, that's not it.
I really love that car. What about this one?
That's pretty funny.
The masked car.
It's still bad, but at least it's funny.
This was a sequel to that one. Yeah, that wasn't as good as the original, I thought.
I think it's better.
No. Moving on.
It's funny, really.
To the genius of the year. Ethan, it's your turn, so go ahead.
Yeah, this is the part of the show where Andrew wants me to stroke his ego. The genius of... Also, this wasn't...
You could have nominated yourself.
This wasn't voted on by the committee. Andrew just gave all the entrants of this award, and there's only one entrant, and therefore the winner of the Genius of the Year. Andrew predicting that there would be playoff driver beef at Martinsville, which somehow happened. I think that's luck of the year.
Sometimes my genius is almost frightening, and I do that in an Australian accent because I can't do a British accent. But in all seriousness, Ethan.
Yes.
You literally said something along the lines of, yeah, there hasn't been anything else close to that amount of genius when we were looking at this, and refused to nominate yourself. I'm like, I
don't
really
remember
put this
that
down.
happening. I don't remember that happening. Moving on to the idiot of the year.
This is my space.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to like transition because I want to stop talking about
Genius
you
of the year was best prediction moment. This is like worst prediction moment. Along with the genius of the year, Ethan did not really nominate himself. He did nominate the last one, but yeah. I nominated the first three. The first nominee is Andrew forgetting to hit record for a podcast.
That was a bad time.
Another nominee, it was Andrew forgetting what Chrome was.
the color. Chrome.
Yeah. I knew what it was. I didn't know what the word for it was.
Yeah.
I think I called it gray or silver. But like shiny. I think that was
yeah, I think you said shiny silver, which like isn't wrong, but
yeah. Another one, Andrew picking Boris Said to win. He didn't even make the race. He didn't qualify.
Embarrassing.
And the final nominee are Ethan and Andrew not being able to pronounce conscientious. That reminds me of Michael Waltrip during a grid walk asking Richard Childress Racing, "What's an alliance?" And he replied, "I don't know. The last big word I learned was mayonnaise."
Why does everything keep leading back to mayonnaise? I'm beyond confused.
But anyway,
the winner.
Then the winner, the Nigel for Idiot of the Year, is Andrew forgetting to hit record. Good job for me for that.
Yeah.
Moving on. Go ahead, Ethan.
So, hottest take of the year. The entrants of this category are: there should be an F1 exhibition race on the Monza Oval from Andrew. Bahrain should be off the F1 calendar for Andrew. Baku should be off the F1 calendar for Andrew. Hungary should be off the F1 calendar from me, which, like, I don't think that's how I phrased it, but okay. The USGP
I didn't phrase the first two like that, so.
Should be renamed to the Texas GP from Andrew, and that there should be an Argentinian Grand Prix from me. And the winner is... there should be an F1 exhibition race on the Monza Oval from Andrew. I still am like, huh?
It would take a lot of construction and rework because the track has fallen into a state of disrepair. But F1 cars on an oval, I think it needs to happen.
I'll pass.
And I think of all the ovals, the Monza Oval would be a good one to have.
With like 1,000,000 degrees of incline or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to Surprise of the Year. This is the driver that surprised us.
This is a good surprise.
Good
clarify.
Surprise, yeah. The nominees are Chris Buescher, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christian Lundgaard, Oscar Piastri, Liam Lawson, and Lord of the Eyebrows, Fernando Alonso.
The Rookie of the Year, by the way.
Yes. And the Surprise of the Year goes to the Nigel. Winner is Chris Buescher. I mean, from going from missing the playoffs to a championship for threat in 1 year, that's a great turnaround that no one saw coming. I didn't see it coming. Running 3 out of 5 races in a stretch, including a back-to-back.
Yeah.
his hometown of Prosper, Texas, has about 30,000 people.
Okay.
Rick Allen said that. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this?
No, but yeah, he was impressive, like you said. And definitely a good surprise. Talking about the F1 drivers, I mean, Oscar Piastri in his first F1 season, he did really well. Liam Lawson, a mid-season jump in, did really well.
And he did well in Super Formula.
Yeah, he finished second. He could have won Super Formula if it wasn't for an accident. And Fernando Alonso, I mean, Esteban Ocon beat him last year, and this year he was amazing in
fourth
the Aston Martin.
Might have been fifth, but
yeah, top 5 in points. I don't remember off the top of my head. We talked about it last episode, I believe. So yeah, great season from those guys. But yeah, Chris Buescher, definitely the surprise of the year. And moving on to the disappointment of the year, we have Nick DeVries, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Colton Herta, Will Power, Jack Harvey, Sergio Perez, and Sir Lancelot Lance Stroll. We couldn't really narrow down the field, but we did come to a winner, and that is Joey Logano. Andrew, why did we pick Joey Logano?
Sliced bread, as they call him.
Everything leads back to bread and mayonnaise.
We're going to have a sandwich here in terms of things we talk about by the end of this podcast.
A mayonnaise sandwich sounds disgusting. Count me out.
I could make a comment on that, but I'm not.
Please don't.
It would be a surprising comment, but title defense from Logano, more like look out here looked like the Arizona State defense. In fact, there basically was none. He did win a race.
Our defense is the best part of. Okay.
Oregon game, Utah game, Arizona game. But Logano, one race win, made the playoffs, but got knocked out in the first round. I thought he had a similar season that Blaney had this year, but disappointing to go from champion to not being a factor, really. And while your teammate gets a championship of all people.
Mm-hmm. So. I think we should go out of order. I think I should take driver of the year so you can deliver moron of the year, because I don't think anyone can do moron of the year like you can do it. Are we in agreement?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, driver of the year. Who is the best of the best across all categories? Was it Max Verstappen? Was it William Byron? Was it Alex Palou?
Hello.
Was it Joseph Newgarden? What about Ryan Blaney? Who was it? Dun, 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 dun. Max Verstappen.
Yo, hey.
Yeah, it's Max Verstappen.
Max,
I mean, Alex Palou had about as dominant of an IndyCar season as you can have, and he wasn't anywhere close to as dominant as Max was. Yeah, the car propelled him to the heights he reached, but he, behind the wheel, had an amazing, amazing season. And he's an amazing, amazing driver who wiped the floor with everybody. He's unstoppable. He's inevitable this past year, at least, and doesn't look like he's letting off the gas. So perhaps driver of the year for years to come.
Yeah, I think any other year this goes to Palou here because of Palou's great season. Max
had a historic season.
Yes. Palou had you can argue that was the best season within the last 20 years in IndyCar. But for Max Verstappen, that's the best season arguably of all time.
Probably of all time, yeah.
So that's why he wins that Nigel. For this last Nigel, I just want to thank everyone for listening. Ethan, do you want to just say anything else?
I think we've been keeping the people waiting too long. Moron of the year. Give it to us, Andrew.
We'll see you guys in season 2 after this. The Nigel for Moron of the Year. The nominees are Ricardo Juncos for randomly deciding Calamilot. We don't want you here. We're going to kick you out. For Roman Grosjean.
One of the decisions of all time. One of the driver moves of all time.
And not changing Calamilot's chassis sooner in the Indy 500. That chassis changed a lot once they did decide to do it. Cody Ware. He got kicked out from his own father's team for doing criminal activities.
Thanksgiving
already happened, but he's following the footsteps of his brother Carson.
It's a saying, Andrew.
Let's say Christmas. You have Richard Childress. He's known for saying, "Hold my watch while I go fight Kyle Busch." But in today's, but today he got nominated for saying Sheldon Creed is the stupidest driver who's ever driven for me.
Yeah, calling out a driver like that, who is your own driver, it's certainly a choice.
Yeah. We have Sergio Perez. I don't know why he got nominated, but he did.
I don't know. Sorry, Sergio. I guess just do better in the best car on the grid next time.
He had second place. That's an improvement. The stock is rising.
Hey, the past couple of seasons, it's gone like this for Checo. 4th, 3rd, 2nd. If the trend continues, that's all I'm gonna say.
You're sounding like America's crew chief, Larry Mack Reynolds here.
What?
That's what he says. If based on the trends of the last 10 Fall Phoenix races, the average caution comes out with 10 to go.
Okay.
This has been a great episode.
Okay.
We have
Dr. Helmut Marko.
Yeah, I'm doing this. Dr. Helmut Marko for just being he's done a lot.
Just for being Helmut Marko.
Yeah, he just causes terror wherever he goes.
He's Helmut Marko. Nothing else needs to be said. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're blessed. But I think
Lewis Hamilton.
I think honestly, it's not even no disrespect intended. It's just the guy says the most insane things. Please, Dr. Helmut Marko, you're a legend of sorts. Please be normal. I think that's too much to ask, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get into the winner, I would like to just say, again, thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned for Season 2. It's been a great Season 1. We definitely have a platform to build off of, and things are only going to go up from here. With that being said...
I thought you were going to say we have a mayonnaise sandwich.
No, definitely not. With that being said, the Moron of the Year...
The Nigel for Moron of the Year. The very last Nigel we have today, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Santucci.